Welcome back to A Windy City They Tan Watch, the channel where truth meets freedom, right here in the heart of Chicago. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated with our latest investigations, interviews, and insights. Your support fuels our fight for freedom and truth. So, let's dive into today's journey, armed with knowledge and the relentless spirit of the Windy City.
Howdy folks, Windy City They Tan Watch. We're here on a Wednesday just before noon. It's a beautiful day here in Chicago, a bit breezy. Definitely when I'm in the open I can feel it, but now that I'm kind of protected by the buildings, we're fine. Howdy Fuzzy. If you're on the replay crew, please try to engage. If you find something interesting, ask a question, comment. If you're on the live crew and we're still waiting to get in, definitely hit that like button. I have a series of shorts that I've been putting out, and one of the comments I got was that they go pretty fast, and there's actually a reason for that. It's not so much for this group, the people that have been the loyal watchers of this, that it's intentionally fast so that people will either replay it or click through. And if they click through, they'll end up on one of the videos that is a little bit more descriptive about what the detriments of this cult are. How you doing, Paradology? Jessica, I'm fortunate so far. We haven't really gotten to that point. Howdy D. Pretty sure this guy's going to take a right-hand turn right in front of me. This is from the construction company of the building just behind the org that's still being put up. There's no activity in the alley right now. Yesterday was kind of a mixed bag. At lunchtime, again, it was kind of slow, and I can't pinpoint why it's slow. Is it less people here? Did the Sea Org surge kind of go back home? Are they doing more of their proselytizing away from the church? There could be any number of reasons, but at the lunchtime, we were able to thwart the efforts of the female who was out body routing. She gave out 2 flyers. The first person handed the flyers back. The second person gave me the flyer. Looks like we might have security out in front of the org today. And there's somebody in an org uniform heading in. Oh, actually, maybe heading up. No, she's heading into the org. Howdy, Senior Freak. I'm happy you come here often. Hopefully that's an indicator of the content. And again, the tragic sign that we're seeing. See where we're at on the shades. Oh, shades are down. Doors are closed. The person I thought was security, it looks like it's really just people that were over at Paisans. So as we've gotten here today, no activity in the alley. We've got we're at the Church of Scientology. They've got a new tree out front, which is awesome. Love seeing new trees planted in the city. We just saw a member walk in, and so far the shades are down. So they didn't give me the joy of pulling the shades down. Now we've got, I think this is Izzy. No, maybe not. But this is, you've got a Sea Org member coming across the street. So that's somebody who is housed or birthed at the imprint. We'll engage her, see if she has anything awesome to say about the Church of Scientology. She's got herself a big jug of water or a big jug of beverage, whatever that is. Anything positive to share about the Church of Scientology? Is there anything positive to share about it? Why aren't you allowed to talk to us? Don't you have great communication skills? Looks like, I can't tell if that's public or not, but definitely going out for lunch. Somebody peeking out to see if it's safe to come out. We've got the trees down here. So there's definitely a staff member, but I don't know who else. Those might be publics. They just might be people down the street who are chatting with the person. As the weather warms up, the smokers are trying to find shade. So that side of the street, it's a little bit easier to find the shade. Sorry, trying to read this. Yeah, it definitely could be this. I'm just, like I said, I'm curious as to how we'll see days that just have incredible amounts of foot traffic, people going in and out the doors, and other days just not so much. So the person down the street is headed back now. They were having a conversation, unfortunately, probably with business people from some of the spaces down there. We will engage him, see if he has anything positive to say about the amazing cult of Scientology. Kind of going up just to kind of give a relief to the neighborhood people walking past. Anything positive to share about the Church of Scientology? Is there nothing positive about this church? Help my members understand why they should come. Another staff member heading down. So watch, she's trying to see, can I get in the locked door? Nope, can't get in the locked door. Let's put the hood up. Let's hide the Sea Org. Anything positive to share about the church? Are you okay that women can't report sexual abuses against them? Does that seem reasonable? Looks like we've got another staff member coming up the sidewalk. Not sure, you guys probably can't see there, but right, you can definitely see the figure, right? White sleeves and the dark vest. And I think that somebody down there must still be org because she was looking rather intently at the group. So there might be some staff members down there. After she goes in, I might walk down and then take a loop around Dearborn, see if we've got any members out passing out flyers on some of the streets in the neighborhood. Anything positive to share about the Church of Scientology? Communication is universal solvent. Why can't you communicate? That's a great point. And it's very obvious that L. Ron Hubbard was 100% racist. And I was reminded yesterday, misogynist just as well, right? That they claim that the church is a meritocracy, but at the end of the day, being male has its advantages in this org. So here's a staff member that was going to come across, and they've turned back, heading back into their berthing over at 717 South Clark. We've got one of our friends from the college coming up the street. Yeah, so when the Scientologist was down here chatting, those I think were two business members, either from All Stars or from the nail salon. You know, the downside of that is it's basically a form of safe pointing, right? Carrying on a great conversation of how great Scientology is and what they do for the community. Would you like to come in and take a personality test? But even if you're not going to become a member, right? We're good people. We're great people. You should do this. $100%. Now, I'm going to say this, that if they talk to like the security guard, we haven't seen a security guard in probably a week and a half, 2 weeks. But like when they would leave at the end of the day, they would be very cordial to the security guard. You know, bye, hey, see you tomorrow, Tom. See you tomorrow, Lisa. Right? Just smiley, giggly, great people. It really is that when the SP, and again, I don't know that I'm an SP. I'm sure that nobody in the church is thrilled with me. But they just don't want to talk to me or to give me any kind of reaction. It's so fun. Like when if I'm there, I'll wave at them, and every once in a while, they'll start to raise their hand, and then they'll realize, oh crap, I can't do that, or they'll smile at me as I'm waving at them, and it kind of cracks me up because, right, that's antithetical to what they're supposed to be doing. That they're supposed to be able to show me that I bore them to death, and they just don't even see me. Yeah, for the body routing, incredibly, and they have the most attractive members out trying to do the routing, and I'm sure that they're the ones that are engaging you once you walk in the door with your little ticket. If you were watching yesterday, you saw that they were doing the Dianetics tickets yesterday. Sometimes they'll do Dianetics. Sometimes they'll do the personality test. They did. Sorry, I'm looking up the street to see if I can find anybody on Dearborn. When they had the season 6 opening, right, the television premiere of DirecTV. Yeah, I'm going to turn back towards the org now. At this time, there's just so many staff members that are going in, so I want to be able to give them the opportunity to confront and shatter me, see if they can uphold the tenets of the church. Oh, you know what? I don't monitor that. That's a good call, though. I should be doing that. And again, they do get out to the more remote neighborhoods. Let's say the economically deprived neighborhoods, and they're handing out flyers there. Free is something that always goes over well in a neighborhood of that nature. In those cases, they're probably looking more for staff than they are for publics, because they know that it takes money to be a public. And even I hate to judge, but in some of those neighborhoods, the credit worthiness isn't going to be that high, so they can't open up the fraudulent credit cards on them. Yeah, I would buy that. That sounds about right, Gregory. I'm back on Clark, looking up the street. We'll push through. We'll go to the alley. I don't think that there's going to be much activity in the alley right now. There wasn't when we walked back the first time. Looking back up towards the apartment building, nobody really coming out there. If I look behind me, there's nobody coming from there. There's 2 apartment buildings behind me that have that. Howdy, Z News. Remember, Z News and Fluffer Squirrel UK have collaborated, and they've got the sptv.space. So you're able to see both as complete a list as possible of all of the channels that are SPTV Nation. They've got another section for the newer channels. And again, go to the newer channels, go look at a video really quickly and make a comment so that your like and subscribe is sticky to that channel. And then in that top section, you're seeing who the current lives are. Oh, sorry, I wanted to go back to the alley. Now, remember, Oxford has nothing to do with Oxford, the university. He knew that it was a name that had clout. So that's why it's called the Oxford Capacity Analysis, that he knew that people would associate it with Oxford. But it's got zero to do with that. It is similar in the Great Paper Chase. There was a name in there, and it was really just a made-up name to make it sound self-important. I definitely will do that. Now I've got to remember to do that. Can you send me an email, Amy? And just a reminder to everybody, right? All right. This really is the easiest way to get a hold of me. Up. We've got a staff member and a body router coming down the street. Is this our friend Joe? Anything positive to share about the church? Why should members come to the church? Why should people come and seek out the church? There's no reason to go to the cult? The cult's that dangerous? The woman that just walked out with the red turban on top. And again, when I say turban, she has a headdress on. I don't know if there's meaning to that or not. She is the one that attempted to do body routing yesterday during lunch. Let's see if I can get up there. She might have flyers in her pocket. So I'm kind of concentrating on her to see if she's going to try and pass anything off. Also, I do want her. Oh, here's the other body router. Ooh, wearing black on a day like today. So we've got the gold vest with the black. We've got the woman who's a little bit further up. And again, there might be something in her suit pocket. Gold vest and black doesn't look to have anything in his hands. He might just be going out for lunch. And all of them could be going out for lunch. I'm going to try a name. There's a name on one of the Facebook channels that if he was younger, this might be him. Hey, Dale. No, I didn't get a reaction. Just going to sit tight here for a minute. I don't think, well, I know they don't know that I'm behind them. And I don't know why I'm talking so quietly. So the woman with the, oh, she does have flyers. Well, maybe it's a phone, but she's got something there. The person in the full suit. So there's the shorter female in black. And Jess is coming back from the from the train station. So she was up in the train station right now. No, that's not Jess. So she's got flyers. Folks, I want you to remember, you can come out here, you don't need a camera, and you can just kind of track these people. And as they give out these flyers, you'll be able to do them. Now, I think she's going to turn and come back to the org. I'm going to be less interested in her, and I'm going to try and chase down the other person. And for all the police watching, I'm not chasing her. I'm just going to make sure that she's not going to be able to hand out any flyers. Oh, she had a phone, not flyers, so that's good. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate that. Right, it's the only goal I've got out here. Preventing them from engaging raw meat. Now, I do think that the younger the younger male, thin, dark curly hair, of color. I'm pretty sure he was going to lunch. We've caught him over in that garden on Dearborn a couple of times. That's just, he'll go to 7-Eleven, he'll buy himself a sandwich, and then he'll go sit in the park. So she might just be out for a lunch stroll. Yeah, I think so. So, and there's, conversation going on probably with her and the org. So I want to get back there to make sure that they're not pushing more people out the door in my absence. And folks, I know I use pronouns I and you quite often. I'm sorry, I and my. I'm just a dinosaur, and that happens to be the way I talk about it. I don't think I'm any great person. It's just the way that I'm describing that the activities that I'm doing. Yeah, I think that this is going to be a true statement in general that religion in general will always be on decline. Oh, here's Chadwick. I'm going to see if Chadwick's going to lunch or if Chadwick, he might live. I see him walking from further away more often. So he lifted his phone to kind of see. I'm sure that he was trying to see if I was behind him. He's got his headphones in. Keeping a very respectful distance back. I don't want to let him know that he's being followed. Now, again, with his headphones in, I'm sure that somebody is watching the channel and somebody is letting him know. Lovely. Yesterday, and there's a short up right now, I did offer him to touch my boobs. He declined. Just going to go up. We've got some citizens that are out here. I want to see how far down he goes. He's going all the way to State. I think it's better off that I get back towards the org to see if they're going to try and put more people out the door. Howdy, Michelle and Reese. Good to see you. Yesterday, so moments ago, right, we were following the woman that wears the burgundy head wrap. Yesterday, she attempted to do body routing at lunchtime. And the first person that she interacted with, I was able to approach, let that person know that it was a cult, and she handed the flyer back to the body router. Then we got a little bit further down the street, and there was another flyer handed off. I expressed to the man what he had just received, and he said, "Oh my," and I asked him if he wanted it. He said no, so he handed me that. So yesterday you'll see that, I know that in the month of April, I had the highest number of free admittance tickets received. When we got to the org today, the doors were closed, the blinds were down. I'm pretty sure that the woman that we just saw walk across the street there in front of me was staff. She had the leather backpack. Truck making quite a tight turn. I'm going to get across real quick because the cars coming from my right are headed into a one-way, so they're going to have to turn. And the way that street works is it starts with a left-hand turn. Just a reminder, if you're newer in this audience, I'm a never in. I've not been impacted by this church. I grew up knowing that the church had, batshit crazy ideas and beliefs, and their space opera was interesting and funny. But it was really in the last 18 months to 2 years when I started hearing the stories of the second gens and other ex-Scientologists who have left the organization and speaking about the atrocities that befell them while they were members of this organization. I just decided it's that easy for me to be down here, and I don't want to stand for it anymore. And I'm lending my voice. Hopefully I'm doing them honor. Yeah, are you guys going to keep my stats for me? And I got to let you know that I'm not going to RPF. I listened to a great podcast on peeling the onion. The podcast was actually last week, and it was with a person named Dennis Ehrlich. Now, I think Dennis Ehrlich is a Chicagoan. He grew up in the Chicago area, but he was a high-powered person. He was a high-powered person. He was the person that would basically train you or cram you. He only dealt with the high-level OT spaces. One of the stories that he had told was that when he saw that people were doing the teachings wrong, he confronted them. They said, no, we're doing it fine. He wrote a letter to L. Ron Hubbard. L. Ron Hubbard immediately promoted him to their position, and they went to RPF. Great story. But the reason I say that is that the reason that Dennis left, and also kind of the reason that Janice left, was that they were told to go to RPF, and they said, no, thank you. And we're told that if you don't go to the RPF, we'll declare you. And the Dennis's statement was, you do what you got to do, but I'm going to do what I got to do. Absolutely. that was a new. So he had and I'm not trying to profile. He had a very Asian look to him. That's the first time I've seen him. Usually, the people that we're seeing in gray. I've got the camera up. Don't worry about it. Usually, the people that I see in gray are they feel like they're custodial workers. Now, still staff members, but custodial workers. I only see them doing custodial tasks. So they're the ones oftentimes taking the garbage out. They'll be cleaning up in the cafeteria. If you ever do get a chance to come down to Chicago, if you come at night, these shades are useless. You can see right through them. During the day, there's more light on the outside than there is on the inside, so they're incredibly reflective. My body router is coming back with his lunch. My guess is he got himself a hot dog or a slice of pizza over at 7-Eleven. And we basically, so when I turned around from behind Chadwick, that was 7-Eleven, Dearborn Street. Dearborn and Harrison will be that space. How are you doing today? Isn't communication the universal solvent? So they won't even socially engage. You know, I would say there was nothing threatening about asking somebody how they're doing today. Yeah, straight up and vertical. I'm going to say one of the channels that shall not be named. That happens to be the tagline on his channel. Howdy, Atlanta. I like that because that's really just such an innocent question. Hey, Pup Groomer, how are you? So she was yesterday's hand router, or body router. She was 0 for 2. Now this next one, I'm going to go with, I think Joe Cicala's promotional picture is, you know, a professional headshot, and he definitely looks incredibly young and much better. This might be him. I just don't know. When you're in the train station, do you read the schedules? Do you remember that from the personality test? Anything positive to say about your cult? Is there anything positive about the cult? Yeah, I'm going to say that I think that the dean gave a lot of lip service. I've talked to a couple of parents, and they were assured that the dean would not let people from the church inside, which we know hasn't occurred. Now, if there's a student that converts into or gets sucked up into Scientology, you know, I understand that the dean can't stop them. They should be able, you know, that's their belief. They want to have that belief. And they do have people that are badged residents of this building, and they have walked out of Scientology with brochures and pamphlets and walked straight into Columbia and badged themselves in. If you search my channel for Scientology has students in Columbia, you'll see that, and there might even be a short on it as well. So probably looking for Columbia and recruit, you'll be able to see that. Yeah, I am not at all surprised by that. Like I said, that it's a political position in that space, and if the church is giving them any kind of money or giving them any kind of benefit, it's very hard for them to walk away from it, right? That's really what I think that's one of the challenges that we're seeing in the Gaza protests, which are asking the universities to divest themselves of Israeli relationships. And unfortunately, they're just so lucrative for the university, it's hard to do the right thing, right? Now, oops, sorry. Now, again, it is only the students that go in. One of my businesses once had a steps competition for a month, and I did 1 million steps in a month. How you doing, Dr. Mark? Always good to have you in here. We've actually had a lot of, I'm going to say new faces to me, or faces that I don't recall, right? There are certain faces that I see so frequently, you know, Chadwick, Izzy. I haven't seen Anastasia for about a week. I haven't seen Izzy for a couple of days. The custodial staff, I've seen them quite a bit. I haven't seen the one that chased Trashy and SRA with the garbage loot, but I've seen the skateboard kid, the other young one. Another staff member headed south, but we've got 2 more coming towards us. Good day in the cult. Anything positive to say about the church? Do you read the train schedule when you're in the train station? Do you read the train station schedules when you're in the train station? Anything positive to say about the cult? That's awesome. I would love that. Go with Saucony. Yeah, I'll be on Nike-sponsored protest teams. Quite a bit of traffic, just kind of keeping the camera out of everybody's face. That's still impressive. 30,000 is a great day. Yeah, most. I've been a runner for much of my life, and more often than not, a Garmin average daily step count for most runners, and these are people that I would say are marathon trainers, is really only in the 17 to 25,000 range. Hey, Jess, anything positive to say about the church? Jessica had aspirations of becoming a singer and a model and an actress. She is now a DreamWorks, Dream Exchange person, and a Scientologist in good standing. She is somebody who does body routing very well. That was another thing that I listened to from Dennis Ehrlich's conversation, was that they're trained very early on to, you can physically touch somebody to guide them to where you need them to go. and use your commanding voice in that space. And I'll say he's had a commanding but authoritative voice, right? And that idea that most people react to that. So I'm curious to what he's trying to get out the door. But it is a training routine in regards to how do I direct people through the testing center? How do I direct people up and down the sidewalk? If anybody's aware, the bearded gentleman that was just looking out here, you might not have seen it, but he was the one that was walking up the street earlier, and I said had possibly the look of Joe Sakala. If anybody can kind of prove or disprove that name for me, that'd be great. I always appreciate when I can call them by name. My expectation is they also appreciate being called by name. 100%. I've had the woman with the bandana or the head wrap. She one time did say everything. And then I approached her a little closer and I said, do you care to expound on that? And she said, no. So she's the only person that has ever answered that question. Now I've had 2 people say no, and I've had people shake their head no. Got a couple of folks coming down here. It's a bit, there's a truck right behind me, and I know I hear it very loudly. I think that the mic is isolating it from you, so you're probably not hearing it quite as loudly. It's probably making me talk louder than I need to. So let's see here. Our friend went to lunch, right? The body router went to lunch at noon, probably got back here at 12:15. So I'm guessing that within, a short period of time, they might send him back out. Thanks, Twyla. So I'm going to say at 12:30. Well, now I'm going to head up to the top of the street just to see if they're trying to leverage the back alley. That may have been why they had somebody look out the front door. They're looking to see if I'm still here, and if I'm not here, they'll go ahead and send the body routers out. If I am here, they know I'm going to trace and thwart them. Every once in a while, I'm going to kind of look backwards to see if they're looking out this door. 100%. Now, what's even stranger about that is that, yes, commitment to communication. Communication is the universal solvent. With communication, you solve any problem that there is. But they proactively let their members know that it's incredibly righteous to lie to anybody not in the church. So these short stories, acceptable truths, lies, however you want to talk about it, are part of the doctrine, right? That they're supposed to be incredibly honest internally. So when you're talking to another staff member, honesty is the utmost value. If you're talking to anybody else, barefaced liar. Earlier when I was up here and I thought that the woman on the other side of the street had flyers, she only had her phone. Because of where she was coming from, it is very likely that she got off the metro here. So she's probably somebody who's a suburban dweller coming into the city. Do that. So this garbage pickup is probably Subway or Dunkin' Donuts. It's up near this end. Paisans. Howdy, Mexican long hair. So far today, the shades were down when we got here. There have been no body routers. We've probably interacted with 15, 20 members. None of them have been able to say anything positive about the church. It's a beautiful day here. It's 72, a little breeze, a lot of sun, no clouds. So they should be out in force body routing. We have seen people walking, I would say more for their lunch, right? As I got here at near the lunchtime hour, we saw many people leaving, and they either went to go get a peaceful walk-in or to go get their lunch. Our body router, I questioned his apparel today. He is wearing a black long sleeve turtleneck and his gold vest. And on a day like today, that black long sleeve turtleneck has to be absorbing like crazy. Howdy, little potato. Howdy, Mexican. Great to see you all in. Anything positive to say about the church? No, the cult's not helping you? So lime green is also, she had the gold piped suit coat on. Remember we saw him come out earlier? He's gone over to 7-Eleven and grabbed a sandwich as well. Yesterday in the afternoon, I tried to be a little bit too clever with the body router, and I gave him too much space, and he was able to evade me. Now, we did get to play the game where he would come up the alleyway, and I would then show my face, and he'd turn around, and then I'd hide for 10 seconds, and then I'd show my face again, and he'd reverse trail and come down the alley and turn around. It's it's really fun. I mean, I laugh inside so much with those when they keep on thinking that they're going to be able to press down here. Now, he eventually went out the south side of the alley, and I was able to shadow him for several blocks. But I did lose him, and the downside there is that the distance between Harrison and Polk is actually 2 blocks. There is no street in the middle, but it covers 200 numbers. So you're going from 6th Street all the way down to 8th Street. And that's just too much ground for you to make up without him, ducking into a building, a hallway, the train station. We have seen them go into the train station to try to escape me. More often than not, I just don't have any desire to spend a token to go follow him into the train station. Yeah, that's some scary stuff, right? That's a several thousand-year-old fight. And it's understandable why people are extremely passionate about that fight. I never think that violence is the right answer. Let's head back up to the alley, see if they're trying to push out the back. Yeah, so Scientology did purchase that sign, or well, at least rent that sign. Here's Chadwick heading back to the org. What's your favorite moment of Scientology? Has the cult done anything good for you? No, huh? Cults are bad. A lot of times I take advantage of the fact that there are civilians around, and them hearing me causes them to be a little bit curious. You would be absolutely astounded how few people actually know that Scientology exists, and worse yet, the criminal record of Scientology and the protocols and activities of the church. There's no end to the number of people who said, "Oh, I didn't even know this was here," and then "Oh, I didn't know that it was Scientology. I didn't know that Scientology was bad." No understanding of, well, Lisa McPherson Wright is now an older reference, but even Danny Masterson, as you know, we thought that was an incredibly highly publicized activity, and they're fully unaware of that. So, never expect that everybody has our understanding. And I don't mean to say that I'm a genius, right? But we live in a bubble where we are anti-Scientologists protesting against anti-Scientologists. Howdy. We have heard this story several times. Most people are hearing the story for the first time. Yesterday, twice, I was able to interact with people that said, "Why are you out here? What are you doing?" And tried to explain to them what some of the policies and practices of this cult are. And it's just a great platform to educate them in regards to what's going on here. Howdy, Nance. Howdy, no one. I did see the chat notifications in the background, so I appreciate that, and I'll look at that after we close down the live today. I think that we still have everybody inside. I don't think that anybody's leaked out with flyers yet, at least not locally. Today I tried to mix it up a little bit. I came a little bit earlier than I'd been here the last few days. Early in this chat, I think the name was Jessica, asked, when does protester fatigue set in? And I'll tell you, it hasn't yet. I 100% enjoy trailing the body routers and informing or re-educating the people that they hand flyers out to as to the bad behaviors and practices of this cult. Last night, I worked on a couple more shorts, right? I did clips of yesterday's lunchtime video. And I've got more of I'm going to do an actual video, so it won't be a live. It'll be a faceless, on a narrative on what Scientologists actually believe, because I think that's a good thing to point people to understand that there's this incredibly fictitious space opera running around the background. And while publicly their doctrination says we can do this, so officer here has been a little bit intrigued by me. Not sure if there was a call. Agreed. And especially in this nice weather, it's not a great burden on me. I will tell you that I did not love being out here early on when we were sub-zero. I've got them hidden behind my shirt today. I'm gonna be a little bit more sensitive to that, and I know that Nance is in here, and I'm sure that she knows that I do it in jest, but I'm not going to keep playing that particular tagline. All right, I think that I'm going to head back to the next client of mine. If we can start looking for another live that's out there, get a raid ready. Yep, 100%, and I'm with you. I'm still going to say that I think that I get a different reaction than when the women are out here protesting. There will oftentimes be, whether it's an agent of the church or a member of the church, the homeless or the neighborhood drunkard, they have a tendency to try to intimidate by their mere presence when the women are out here by themselves. And I mean that in the least sexist possible way, that I do not get the same reaction from either the homeless people here or the unhoused, nor the members of the church. They tend to give me a wide berth. Excellent. Let's go see Bobby Joe. And by the way, the first thing I thought about when you put that up there was Petticoat Junction. And I think that my demographics are old enough that Petticoat Junction is something that rings true. Yeah. And by the way, I do not think I'm an imposing person. I'm just somebody who, I can take the first shot usually. I feel that humans bounce well. I'm not going to back away from somebody. Now, I will tell you this. I'm going to give people space because I don't like the tactic of doing the Fosbury flop on victims to be able to press charges. And I want to give them no reason to have TROs or try to create criminal complaints on me. But when a homeless guy comes by me, I'm just going to stand between him and any of the other protesters. And if they want to go through, they can try and go through. But I'm going to try and hold my ground in those situations. All right. Yeah, and we've seen Red Shoe several times since. And we've seen him go in and out of the org several times since. I'm going to run across here. Folks, I may or may not be out this afternoon. Definitely, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. It costs nothing to subscribe. Subscriptions are free. And hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I do go live. I think there's another short coming out. So like for the next 10 days, I've got a short coming out at 9:30 Central and 3:30 Central. So for now, let's go see Bobby Joe in Kellogg, Michigan. By the way, Kellogg was another crackpot medical person. Bye, everybody.